Happy Friday! Thanks for joining me tonight, everyone. My name is Alyssa Thomas from Penguin and Fish, where we make lovely and quirky hand embroidery patterns and kits. And I'm here every weeknight at 8:30 p.m. Central Time. Thanks again for joining me, and thanks replay viewers for watching as well. This will stay up here on Facebook at the Penguin and Fish page, and will also go up on YouTube when we're done here at Penguin and Fish Movie, so you can check it out on YouTube there. Thanks for coming in. Hey, Carla, thanks for joining us. So, all right, I'm going to continue cutting my little guys in half. So we're trimming it on the diagonal here, and it's going to end up being a bunch of half square triangles like this. So we should have a pair of half square triangles with each one of these. So that is the plan. We'll continue that tonight. Again, this is the Charming Chevrons quilt pattern by Krista Quilts. It's the current project that we're working on, and we are just going to do what we did last night. We are going to cut the diagonal, press the half square triangles open, and trim them down to size and see what they're going to look like when they're half a chevron. So that is the plan tonight. Thanks again for joining me, everyone. All right, let's get going. I'm going to flip you around and let me know how your Friday went. All right, here we are. So this is the stack we got done. I've been cutting them and kind of arranging them so they're that half a chevron, and then stacking them. So that way I think I'll be able to have everything in order when I start sewing. And you know what, maybe I don't know if we'll start sewing tonight, but it's gonna be a lot of cutting on the diagonal and doing this whole little sequence that we're doing. So it might be fun to get some sewing in there too. So who knows, I think we might, not tonight, but I think we might one of these other days, instead of just continuously doing this nonstop, we might actually start sewing some of those half chevrons together, just to change it up, just so we can be doing some other things. Hello from New Jersey, Mary Ellen. Oh man, wow, that is really not cutting through. Holy cow, maybe I just wasn't pressing at all, or maybe our blade is really that dull already. That's kind of surprising. Anyway, let's, we'll keep it for the night. Let's get these half square triangles. Got a hold of, oh my gosh. Oh no, Gretchen. Your granddaughter took all your cut squares and put them all over the house. Oh no. Well, that'd be a little adventure, finding that. It's you got an Easter egg hunt a little early. How funny. Probably saw the fun colors and wanted to play along too. Oh man, that'd be sad. Oh, you're going to suggest that, like doing a few here and then switching to some stitching. I think that's what we're going to do. So we'll just do this. We'll do this tonight, and I think tomorrow, or not tomorrow, on Monday when we're back here again, we'll sew together what we have so far, and then we'll continue what we're doing here. I think that's the plan. These are awfully pretty together too. This light pearl bracelet, the light color pearl bracelet, light blue. Oh man, oh, and you had a queen size one too, and it was all organized. Oh, bummer. Well, you have the opportunity to lay them out again and put the colors together again and see what it looks like. All right, oop, that's the wrong way. We want the chevron to go this way right now. All right, that guy's done. Oh, wait, no, he's not done. We have to trim him down yet. Knew that seemed pretty quick. All right, let's get our half square, or not our half square triangle, our 4.5 inch ruler out here. I'm putting it on the diagonal again. The ruler has a diagonal, so that helps out a lot. And I'm using a 4.5 inch ruler, which makes this super duper easy, and the rotating cutting mat. Once I remembered the ruler, that I had a 4.5-inch ruler, it made this process a whole lot faster last night, I think. Oh man, you got a king-size Irish chain top done today. Holy cow. Congrats on that, man. That's a big project. Holy cow. I need some big project wins one of these days here. So I'm happy we'll be doing, we're going to start doing a Friday, like a first Friday UFO buster, I think. Did we talk about this yet? I'm not sure we did, but I'm thinking we'll do on the first Friday of every month, we'll stop everything that we're working on and have just a work on your UFO day. And UFOs, that just stands for unfinished object. It's kind of a funny term that people in the crafty industry uses, UFOs. So we'll finish some UFOs. So yeah, every first Friday of the month, I think we'll just stop whatever we're working on and do a project that we just have laying around. So maybe that will help me get my splendid sampler done. I have to do the border on that yet. So even though it's just once a month, every little bit moves a project forward. So I think that's a new plan here. Oh, the little 3-year-old got all the fabrics. Funny. Future quilter. She's just grabbing from her stash. Here we go. This one's pretty. Pretty strawberries. Good evening, Lorraine. Thanks for popping in. Yeah, so I think on Monday we will sew what we have, just because that will even, keep me even more organized, then I won't have to worry about pieces getting divided and that sort of thing. The pairings being separated. Oh, she loves to sew, and she sits in your lap when you sew. How freaking fun. That is so cool. I love that. All right, here we are. Trim this guy up again. But yeah, tonight we'll just chill and do our little trio of processes here. The cutting the diagonal, the pressing the seams open, and the trimming. We'll just get in a rhythm of this tonight, see how far we get, and we'll get some sewing done tomorrow. Ooh, you can let her control the up and down needle, nice. Oh, my machine does not have an up needle up down. That would be nice. That's a nice feature when you can sew and no matter what the needle ends up in the down position. That's a handy dandy frill that machines have now. It's nice when you need to turn a corner or something. Your needle will always end up on the corner. Oh, you got your fabric, Terry! Yay! Good! Oh, I'm so happy that you think it's pretty. That's nice. Yeah, so if you ordered fabric from my fabric sale, it's all out in the mail, so you should receive it soon. There, that's pretty. It's all priority mail, which only takes a couple days, unless you're overseas. If you're in Canada or somewhere else, then it'll probably take a little longer. and it'll be first class international that way. Okay, this one will be pretty too, I think. Actually, I think I did one this direction and it was a little bit easier. I'm gonna do that again. Kept the iron out of my way a little bit more. I was gonna look into those Teflon, or not Teflon. Yeah, Teflon, those gloves. Those don't cut my finger off gloves. Oh yeah, you got yours too, Robin. Awesome. It's always scary when you put something out into the ether of the post office and any other shipping company. It's out of your hands, then that's scary. Oh, you love yours too. Thanks, Gretchen. Felt like Christmas. That's fun. Ooh, I got a fun thing in the mail today. Fun to me. I don't know. Everyone else will probably think it's stupid, but like, we got a electric kettle today. We've been wanting to drink more tea, and our stovetop kettle is just rusted and old, and you know, we like the idea of just being able to set the timer on, and it warms up. And then we can have some tea. So I'm hoping I'll have some tea when we're done here tonight. Oh, I'm pressing with my left hand, Tracy, just because if I press with my right hand, then I'm like covering up the entire screen here. So I'm attempting some left-handed pressing, but that is the only reason. There's no, you know, quilting technique to the reasoning at all. Just so I don't completely cover up the camera here or hit it. Ooh, you can boil water and cook ramen. Ooh, cook ramen too. Yeah, I like the idea that, you know, I could do like oatmeal or something. Oh, I did, Tracy. I did see the new Fish Museum and Circus characters. They are cute. The little pincushion guy that I have from Fish Museum and Circus. Some have like these big bobble heads. Not, well, you know, like, you know, they have the little funny hair shapes. And she has a little new hair shape, and she put a little hat on a couple of them. They are cute. Yeah, so it's nice. It has different settings and stuff on it. So, you know, like green tea is you do on a lower temperature than like black tea or coffee. And it has, and like oatmeal and stuff like that. And it does boiling water, and it can keep it warm for a little while too. Like there's a warmer button. Not all of them had that on. But it has one of those pretty like gooseneck spouts too, which I think is fun. I know they're big everywhere, Patricia, except for the U.S. I feel like it's slow going on the whole tea thing here, or the idea of having an electric kettle around just to heat up water. I don't think that's that common. And man, I had a hard time. We were looking on we got it off of Amazon, and we're looking forever because I wanted something cute too, you know. And man, for the electric kettles, the one that has the electric base, and then you just put one on, or put the kettle on that. I would have thought there would be way more cute things out there. I wanted just like a pretty one that could just sit on the counter all the time and not look like a giant appliance, but that was more difficult than I thought. But in the end, we just got like a little, stainless steel one. They're almost all stainless steel, it seems like, for the electric ones, at least when we were looking. But the one we got isn't gigantic. It's smaller than a lot of the ones out there, which is nice because we're just going to use it for like a cup of tea before going to bed. We're not like making it for, you know, a whole party or anything like that, so we don't need a gigantic one. Oh, let me see that. Oh, hot chocolate. Ooh. Ooh, yeah, that'd be good to make some hot chocolate. But yeah, I'm pretty excited about it. I got it all cleaned, and I'm going to use it for real the first time tonight. It's just such a silly thing to get excited about, but I'm super duper excited about it. I have it in the corner of on the counter, and I have a little plant there, so it looks all cute in the corner. And it's below the cupboard that has all our tea in, and I don't know. I'm hoping it gets me to drink more liquids throughout the day that's not necessarily coffee. Like I could drink more like caffeine-free tea stuff, or, you know, I like green tea a lot, but that has caffeine in. So after a certain time of day, if I have any caffeine, there's no way I'll be falling asleep. I'll be tired. I just won't be able to sleep, which blows. So I have a no caffeine after 4 p.m. rule, and it probably should really be more like noon. Oh, yeah, so I am not a milk with tea person either. So I really like green genmaicha tea. I don't know if you've heard that before. It's a Japanese green tea, but it has little roasted bits of rice in it. So it tastes like a nice green tea, like a sencha tea, if you're you know, into green teas, just like a nice sencha, but the little roasted rice in there makes it almost have like a little roasted popcorny taste to the green tea. I don't know, I just really like it a lot. So when I can find that, there's a tea place in town called La Société du Thé, and every once in a while we'll get there. It's this tiny shop run by this French man who's had it for ages, and he'll every once in a while on accident like start talking in French. You know, I was there once and I asked where the bathroom was, and he said "à gauche." So but it's just like this little dark little place, but they have just such yummy tea there, and they store it. I'm gonna be like totally snobby now, but like they store it properly, you know, in a airtight container that has that can't get sunlight on it and stuff like that. So whereas some other places in town don't do that. But yeah, so they're genmaicha tea, and they have like a couple different kinds, but theirs I like the most. But I haven't had that in a while. We have a whole cupboard full of all sorts of teas that we've just kind of had for a while. So I'm like, I gotta use up that cupboard of teas. So that's my new plan. Now that we have that kettle, I'm thinking that's gonna solve the tea situation. So I'm excited about that. Oh, you're watching that IHOP funny. Oh yeah, I think we have a Teavana at the Mall of America. I haven't been there. But man, I'm telling you, this guy at the Société du Thé, he does good stuff. And it's just this little weird place in Minneapolis here. I like it though. I hope it never leaves. I suppose I should go there more often if I want that to happen. That's why I gotta get through that cupboard. Then I can get the good stuff again. I can at least assess what's in that cupboard, like if there's anything old or something, or a kind that we don't like. But yeah, in the evening I like having like a chamomile, ginger, just herbal tea. I like that. You think there's a David's tea there too at the Mall of America. Oh man, I haven't been there in a while to the mall. I mean, that's easy enough to get to and everything. If I had a good tea place there, that'd be nice and close. All right, let's trim. Here's that pretty dark blue with the red again and the white. You haven't heard of David's tea either. We every once in a while just seem to acquire tea. Like my mom will get some, and or like she'll get a bunch from someone, and we'll take some of it. Or I got some from my brother before he left town, and so we've just been acquiring tea, and we need to get through it so I can get back to my senchas and maichas that I like. But I wanna clear. I wanna drink all the other stuff first. Oh, I'm like, why is that moving weird? It's because I'm upside down. Like my ruler's going everywhere. That's why. I do. Oh wow, I didn't close that. That scares me. I used to use steam all the time, and then when we did the Splendid Sampler, I tried using starch instead of steam. So I just sprayed the block with starch. And then that just kind of, that worked great, but it also made my ironing board really, really dirty. And I've heard with half square triangles, I don't know if this is a thing for real, but if you starch half square triangles, you can distort them a little bit. So I haven't really been doing that with this. So I don't know. I'm still in question mark land on what I should be doing with steam versus starch versus nothing. So right now I'm just using nothing. These would lay a whole lot flatter, I think, with some steam. But yeah, it also might distort it a little. I don't know. Oh, you have 3 packages of David's tea in your hands right now. Oh, funny. Yeah, I haven't heard of it before. If you start the quilt with steam, you have to use steam the whole time. Oh, that's interesting. Maybe that's like if you use pre-wash fabric, then you need to pre-wash all your fabric, sort of thing, to deal with shrinkage and stuff. Maybe I could see that being an issue with steam, although I'm just conjecturing. I'll have to do some straight up research on that sometime. When to use steam, when to use starch, and when to use neither. I'm sure there's some quilting person out there who's done a really good blog post on that. Ooh, you got your fabric today too, Nancy. Yay! You starched yours. Yeah, I think it's perfectly fine. Yeah, if I starched these, I'm sure these seams would probably be easier and stuff, but I don't know. I still have in my head that I have this nice clean ironing board now. Actually, I covered it with this with the kitty thing here, because it's actually burning my fabric. This ironing board is kind of a crappy ironing board, but it's cleaner than my old ironing board, which was just getting brown. Starch is messy. Yeah, it was just getting burnt brown from the starch. It was just starting to look just gross. I didn't want to have it exposed to you guys. So you had to see all that grossness every day. So I got this one, this cute little blue one. you know, just like a cheap one from Target. But it has a metal underside, which I think is not atypical. But that metal underside is getting too hot with the iron, and it's putting burn marks in my fabric. So that's totally lame. So that's why I have that little kitty towel here. Oh, curling iron with hairspray. Yep, same thing. Yep. You're putting extra substance on that heat. This one's cutting it a little close here. But yeah, this whole having the 4.5-inch square, which is the exact size square I need to cut this out, or for the blocks, and then this rotating cutting mat, this is making my world a little bit easier lately. There we go. Yeah, so I used Best Press all throughout the Splendid Sampler. And, you know, really, I mean, it works great, the starch, and maybe I'll start using it again. But I just haven't, since I got this new ironing board, just because I'm scared about getting the ironing board all gross again. I think this is our first purple one. You only starch the really, oh, you've only starched the really small pieces from the Splendid Sampler. Yeah, that was the first time I kind of experimented with starch, and I mean, it did stretch out some of the blocks that have a lot of triangles, because when you have a triangle, then you're cutting diagonally across the fabric, and that makes that particular cut, like that line, that edge, really stretchy when you go across the fabric like that. It's called, you know, cutting on the bias. But it becomes really stretchy. So if you starch it and then press, it can stretch it all over the place. And I don't want that to happen with these, although I don't think it probably wouldn't be that big of a problem, really. Right now it takes away one step of something that I would have to do. I'd have to spray these and then press them and all that. Now I don't have to do that with all these little bits to do. Oh, you starch on parchment paper and then press. Oh, that's a good idea. You didn't need to starch these squares. Oh, your background fabric is stiff. Yeah. Only starch before you cut. Okay. But you have to press it first, right? You have to, like, the whole thing with starch is that you're putting that heat on, right? Yeah, I'm not too worried. I mean, you know, we're dealing with largish, I mean, these aren't like the biggest blocks ever, they're 4.5-inch, but there's not a lot going on. Like if I was dealing with tons of little pieces and I needed them all to end up being perfect, then maybe I would consider starch, or I don't know. I'm gonna have to do some research on that again. I'm not convinced one way or the other yet. So I need some education and some logic thrown at me. I like this, just the solid purple and the red. I think that's gonna be fun, and we're gonna have a pile of those all over the quilt, which I think will be kind of neat. Ooh, I was close to the edge here. Oh, you love the sizzle. Yeah, I do kind of miss that. The little sizzle when you spray starch and then you throw an iron on it. Sizzles. All right, our first purple. Ooh, yeah, that's gonna be nice. That purple. And I think we have another purple right after. Oh God, this is that one that I sewed totally crooked. So this is a horribly crooked line. I'm going to try and fix that when I press it. I'm just going to try and press it straight. So there might be like a little weird little bit in the middle that's not perfectly folded on the seam, but it'll look straight still, I think, when we're done. Like you can see it stretch even when I'm doing it without starch. So I just don't want to exacerbate that at all. If I get too close to the iron, then it starts to melt my fingernail polish a little bit. Pretty, yes, I like the purple. Oop, I thought I had the other one done, but nope. Yeah, so here you can see how crooked that line is. It like dipped way down and, you know, it's swirling all. This is just not a straight line. But it's all gonna be fine. There, so we kind of fudged it. So it looks straight now, but there's kind of like a little dip in here, but no one's gonna know, especially once we quilt it. It'll all be stitched down. It's a non-issue, just something to improve on for sure. There we go. And trim. I might sit and watch football this weekend, which is something I haven't done like the whole season really. But I'm like, okay, I gotta watch. I'll watch one Vikings game. If there's a Vikings game to watch, it's this one. This purple just made me think of it. So hopefully I don't jinx them. It's not my fault if they lose. Yes, Joyce. Skol. That's become such a big thing. So that just started this year with the new US Bank Stadium and everything, the whole Skol thing. And it's, yeah, the last game was the one to watch. That's true. The Super Bowl one will be the one to watch, right? We'll see. That'd be cool, though, if they had the hometown Super Bowl. But yeah, it's like Super Bowl everything right now in town here. Like, you know, you can't turn on the news or anything without them discussing it and talking about it and having the countdown timer for it and all that. Just, you know, all the stuff that they're doing in downtown to prep for it, and it's just really interesting. They're gonna close off Nicollet Mall, which is just kind of a street that is kind of closed off already for just people to walk around, but they're closing off all the buses and stuff from running too, and they're gonna make it to have cross-country skiing and snowshoeing, and they're gonna have like ice castles built, and it's gonna be awesome. Oh, you guys host Super Bowl next year. Oh, fun. Hate football like golf. Funny. But yeah, I think it might be, if it's a nice day out, I think it might be fun just to take like the light rail down there and just walk around and see what's going on and have a drink at the ice castle and watch people cross-country ski and down the road in the middle of the city. That'd be kind of fun. And there's like parties and stuff everywhere, I'm sure. And there'll be people, I mean, just everywhere. There's no way I'm driving down there. That would be crazy. And, you know, like, people are renting out their houses on Airbnb for $1 bajillion and stuff. It's kind of nuts. But yeah, if the Vikings were there at their own stadium, and, you know, they do not have a good Super Bowl track record. You like the commercials during the Super Bowl? I totally agree, Bonnie. I feel like they haven't been all that great over, you know, the past few years. They were like, that was like the biggest thing in, like, I don't know, maybe the 90s, or was it like the 2000s when Super Bowl commercials became like the thing? I'm thinking maybe the 2000s. Maybe the 90s. It's all blending together. It's kind of like, though, that now with the internet and just social media and everything, there's so much good content out there that I think it's hard to come up with something that you're going to think is new and good and interesting, especially in the, you know, old, like, corporate Super Bowl commercial way of doing it, you know? Oh, the Budweiser horses are the best. Oh, when they're kicking the ball and stuff. Anything with animals, I'm good for that. But yeah, the whole Skol thing is totally a new thing this year. It's actually, isn't it? It's from like the Icelandic soccer team or something. So the Skol thing is like, there's a drum beats twice, and then the crowd yells Skol and like claps their hands over their head, something like that. And you know, it's cool. Like, it sounds neat. It's like, finally, Vikings have some sort of neat chant thing that they're doing, right? Oh, it is actually Chew Tobacco too, Gretchen, correct. We were laughing about that the other day. But yeah, so it's kind of neat, but it's weird to me that it's actually, you know, the Iceland soccer team or something like that. Something along those lines. And I think they said on the news that Minnesota or whoever, football commissioner, whoever decides this is what our thing is going to be, actually asked Iceland or whatever if they could use it. Use it as their own chant. And to me, that's weird. That's not an organic way to get a chant. Like, it just seems goofy to me. But anyway, it's huge, and all you hear is people going Skol and doing the whole thing. So it actually means like cheers or prost, or like, you know, to your health, you know, like with, you know, when you clink your drinks together and you wish someone good health. That's actually what it means. But I don't think it's not like a Viking, you know, real Vikings. It's not a Viking saying or anything either. So it's just this weird thing like, oh, we're going to borrow this thing and make it our own and ask for permission to do so. And it's very Minnesotan. I feel like how, yes, Bonnie, that's what it is. Just how it was acquired, just like, it's very Minnesota nice how this thing happened, and now everyone's just taking it on. But the way people have taken it on is as if this has always been what we've always done, and this is our thing. And I don't know. The whole idea of it is fascinating to me, how it was just acquired. But anyway, so if you see that it's on Sunday, people doing that during the Vikings game, there's some backstory for you. That's all we hear about here. It's better than oofta. Oofta. I don't know. I think that'd be pretty good. That'd actually be like a good, pure Minnesotan chant. Oofta. Man, I like it better. I think that'd be great, actually. Oh, man. I mean, it's neat though. It's to me, it's like finally Minnesota's like being proud of their team and whatever. I was having a whole conversation. I mean, I'm going to get in trouble talking about all this stuff now, but I was talking to a friend who is a Minnesotan about that. It's so goofy to me, since I'm from Wisconsin, where the Packer fans are just all out, just, you know, loud and proud, I guess, for the Packers. And I never got that feeling here in Minnesota. And you know, now, you know, and there's just like a doom and gloom feeling. Ooh, a loon calling, that'd be cool, Jenna. But there's always been like this kind of doom and like, oh, you know, it's just not going to happen. Like just like a whole thing. And I was telling that to my friend and she's like, you don't understand. We have been losing for so long. And, you know, you come from a winning team. The Packers, like they win a lot. And, or as of late. And for long periods of time, it's different here, you know. There's this you expect to lose, and then when they win, it's like such a out there concept. So, but you know, it was actually interesting talking to her because I got the sense more that people are sticking with their Vikings and everything. There are like true big Vikings fans. They're not just there when they win and stuff. They're just hunkering and down, just sad. But there's strong Vikings fans, and I never felt that before this year when they all came out of the blue. And then I got a little bit of the mentality behind it. So just kind of interesting. Different. Oh, you think Packers invented team spirit for sure? Yeah, I mean, it definitely, I literally do feel like when you cross the border into Wisconsin, which is not far away, that there's a difference in being than a Minnesotan. Like it's, you know, we're in a similar area, but Minnesotans and Wisconsin people, they have a different vibe to them, which is kind of interesting. But I'm excited. I think it would be super cool if the Vikings were in town. I just think it'd be I'm excited to see everyone else excited, really, is what it is. Even just the newscasters, it's kind of fun to see them excited. Went to the bank and they were wearing all purple and stuff today. I went to school here, Carla, so that's kind of how I ended up in Minnesota. Went to college here and met the hubs in college, and then we moved around a little bit, and then we moved back to Minnesota, mostly because we had a network here and we could find work and stuff. But you know, at this point, we've been here for a while. Oh, Gophers are huge. So that's different. So I feel like Gopher fans, people cheering and excited for the Gophers, which is the University of Minnesota team, you know, big team. The Gophers, I feel like there's more outward pride for the Gophers than there is outward pride for the Vikings, if you aren't including this particular year. Oh, in high school you canoed in Minnesota. Oh, you just got mosquitoes, yeah. Oh, we are making the, if you guys are just coming in, we're making the Charming Chevrons quilt by Krista Watson of Krista Quilts. And what we're doing now is we are making all the little tiny half square triangles, like this little corner right here, boop, boop, boop. That's kind of the same as this. So we are going to ultimately sew them together to make these little chevrons, and that's going to be our quilt. our whole like chevron quilt. So we are in the process of making this quilt, and it's a lot of doing the same little bits over and over again. So right now we're at the stage where we're cutting apart our half square triangles. There we go. So I'm doing the whole process here on Facebook Live every evening here, every weeknight. So if you want to do the quilt, the pattern is linked here, and we go through the entire process. So even if you haven't done it before, quilting before, you'll get to see the whole process. Yep, and yes, and that's what I'm looking forward to. I want to learn how to free motion quilt, but I need a quilt first for that, so that's why we're doing this quilt. And I think this is gonna be really good for free motion quilting because we have those parameters of like the zigzag, right? So that will be a good open area to work in, but clearly defined. Like it's not like a quilt with a whole bunch of, you know, pretty applique and stuff going on, or big open spaces where we have to just decide, well, what do I do here? It's just these confined areas, and I think it'll be great for learning and experimenting and practicing. Ooh, that's pretty. Oh, her purple 4-farm jersey. Yeah, that was a weird thing. When Favre had that stint on the Vikings. Yeah, so we had 2 squares, and we drew a diagonal line on it. So you can kind of see, oh, here you can see better in this thing. So we had 2 squares. We have a red square and a pattern square. We drew with pencil a line down the diagonal, and then we sewed a 1/4 inch on both sides of that line. And that's going to get us, well, and now we cut along that diagonal. And now, because we sewed on both sides of that diagonal, now we have 2 half square triangles from that 1 square. And a half square triangle is a square made up of two triangles. So half a square triangle. But yep, so now I'm just cutting them open and pressing them. Pressing them open. And I'm also pressing the seam open, which I think is going to help just give us a flatter quilt top when we're done, because there's not as much bulk. Zoop. Not as much layered bulk. And I think that'll make it easier to sew up when we're done. Okay, there's the first one. And second one. But yeah, I might actually sit and chill in the living room and watch football all day. Gosh. The only time I ever do that is when I'm visiting my parents and the Packers are playing, or the Badgers. But I don't think I've ever done that on my own. Might just have it on in the background. And drink tea, exactly. Watch football and drink tea. That seems odd. All right, let's trim. Okay, on that diagonal line again. Man, it's getting late already. Got chatting about football and the time went away. This will be the longest football talk that we've had, so there you go. That's, if you needed some football talk, or if you've had enough, you got it. I always like watching football, though, when I'm visiting my parents, because, you know, Packers, gotta watch the Packers, and Badgers, and, you know, but it's the best crafting time. I get so much done when I'm just sitting there, and then you get to eat snacks like cheese and summer sausage and crackers, and then just knit or something, or work on a project, quilt something. So I like it from that sense. It's a good get things done time. All right. Ooh, that's pretty. I like it. And that's what it will be on Sunday as well. Oh, your local theater offered playoff games that the Packers were playing. Oh, wow. Well, that would have been nice, right? We'll do a couple more here before calling it an evening. Yeah, and then I got to test out the tea kettle. The new tea kettle. Yes, it does take a long time, Henry. Well, you know, but we're here every weeknight, so it actually, you know, an hour an evening, and it's surprising how much gets done. Like, yes, like this seems like crazy, monotonous craziness right now, but all of a sudden this step is done, and it's like, whoa, well, great. Now we get to move on to the next step, and then all of a sudden you have a finished quilt. So it's kind of nice. Just all this, the consistent working on it is definitely getting it done. I don't think I'd be able to do this in one big stint. Oh, so you'd be able to watch it at the theater on the big screen. Ooh, that would have been cool. Alrighty, press that open. So this is, for me at least, this is a little less monotonous than if we were doing just one of these bits at a time, like if we were only cutting diagonals for like an hour. Which is what we were doing earlier. We had to draw all those lines on the diagonal, and that took a whole hour, at least, to just draw diagonal lines. At least now we're doing like 3 steps in one. All right. Yeah, it looks like it's time to defuzz my rotary cutter again. That red is really giving off the fuzzles. Or maybe it just feels that way because every single one of these has the red in. Oh, you talk too much during the game. So funny. Oh, Gretchen, I'm excited for the Olympics too. Man, that's just starting to be on my brain, that the Olympics is coming up. I like the Winter Olympics. I like watching all the ski stuff. A little bit of like some of the, you know, I don't know, the World Championship whatevers for different things were on last weekend, I think, and I think I caught some like aerial skiing where they flip all over the place and they just like, they shoot up straight in the air and then do all that crazy twisting and stuff. I don't know how they don't just kill themselves. Like, I don't know how they land on their feet. Like, it just baffles me. I mean, they're, I don't know how they're alive, any of them. It's fun to watch, though. Oh, and I think this weekend, actually, here in Minnesota, I don't know if you guys have heard of this before, but have you heard of crashed ice? Oh, wait. Yeah, it's crashed ice. For some reason, I felt like I was saying it wrong. But it's in downtown, or it's in St. Paul, which is, you know, where the Twin Cities were. I'm in Minneapolis, and St. Paul is just down the street. and it's in front of the cathedral. It's like a racetrack, but like a roller coaster racetrack that people ice skate on. So it's like, imagine, you know, where they're on the motorcycles, the dirt bikes, and they go over jumps and they have to squirrel around and they have obstacles and stuff. And there's there's like 4 different dirt bikes going at the same time. Like, imagine that, yeah, Red Bull, oh, is it Crash? Yeah, Crash Ice. I think that's going on this weekend. But imagine 4 dudes in their hockey gear, their hockey ice skates and like a helmet on, going up and down and swirling like over this racetrack that's in the air, like it's up high, because it goes all the way up on the basilica, or not the basilica, the cathedral hill, which is way, way, way a high point of the city over there. And then it goes like down, and they have leaps and jumps and different elevations that they are going around, and then they're bumping into each other and trying to like make each other fall. And what's so interesting is like people do fall, but because there's so much momentum and they're on ice, sometimes they fall and they get back up, they stand up again, and they're still in the same position because they've just slid. Yes, it's a course. It's like a race course, but it's not a perfect circle. It's like squiggled and different elevations and, you know, jumps and walls and other kind of obstacles. Like a dirt bike course, really, but in the air and ice skaters. It's intense. It's so neat. And I haven't gone in person before. Oh, well, not quite like roller derby. I suppose it's a little like that, but it's not like a racetrack loop. It's not like going around in circles. It's like a big, not quite an obstacle course, but like a dirt bike course where they're up and down and, you know, ultimately it's a loop, but it's a loop that goes all over the place and up and down and different elevations and stuff. So you win whoever gets around it first or something. I don't know if they have to do laps or something. But yeah, it's the first one. Oh, I don't even know if it's all the way around. It's just whoever's first to the finish line, wherever the finish line is. I would assume that, oop, I didn't press this one open. Did I press this one open? Yeah. So I don't know if it's like time trials or how, oh man, are you gonna go to anything live, Gian? That would be kind of amazing. Oh man, I would love to. That's one of the things I'd like to do one day, is actually go to an Olympic, like a Winter Olympics. That'd be cool. But yeah, the Red Bull crashed ice. It's just, that should be an Olympic sport. That'd be cool. It's just crazy town. But yeah, I'm excited for the Olympics. I like the winter ones. I like both, but I like the winter ones. Oops, I'm off my cutting board here. I always like watching the opening ceremony stuff too. That's always neat. But they're getting, I think, better at showing, I think we talked about this already, but getting better at showing some of the other less popular sports in the Olympics, which those are the fun ones. Those are the interesting ones. All right, here we go. I think we'll do one more tonight. I know we're getting a little over our time here, but I think I'm feeling one more. So this will be our last one tonight, and then we'll pick it up here again on Monday. But I think Monday I might just shush some of my scraps out of the way here, and I think we might sew what we have done just because then we don't have a whole nother day of doing this again. We can, we'll sew what we have into those half chevron bits, so like half of our block. And then, you know, I have a feeling we'll run out of those pretty quick, and then we're back to here. Then we've ran out of stock and we need to make more. But yeah, I'm excited. I think that's what we'll do on Monday. Get some sewing done again. See what happens with all these. I'm just too impatient. I want to see what these look like as the half chevrons. Okay, last open seam for the night. Still have not really burnt myself on the iron, so fingers crossed. Maybe I can get through this whole project without burning myself. That seems unlikely, but hopefully. Okay, let's trim. I'll have to clean up a little bit here to sew on Monday, though. I got scraps, these little fuzzles all over the place. And I'll clean my blade up and stuff too. I think I don't want to change blades yet, just because, I don't know. It's cutting all right yet, even though I do have a little bit that's not cutting here and there, it seems. But ugh, I just don't want to switch it yet. I just switched it. We have been doing a lot of cutting though, I do have to say. Cut all these squares and now we're doing all this cutting. So it is getting abused, the blade, I suppose. I would just like to think I could use it for the whole project at least. We'll see. Oh, I am making, yeah, the twin size. That's the size I'm making. Unless, you know, at the end we decide, yeah, maybe I want to make it bigger, and then I do all this process to make some more blocks, but I don't see that as being very likely, so I think I'm going to stick to the twin. But, all right, here's our last one. Okay, so this is the stack we have so far. So it's a little bit. We'll sew for a little while on Monday. But, you know, it's not as big as the stack we have to do yet here. And this is just for that one side. We have a whole stack at least this big for the other diagonal too. So remember, I divided my stacks in half because ultimately we need some that go this way and some that go this way, and I wanted to make sure that I had an equal amount. So right now I'm doing all the ones that will go this way. And once all those are done, then we'll go back to this drawing board here of what we've been doing and make all the ones that will ultimately go that way. Then we just gotta stick them together wherever we want. And then that's when I'll lay it all out on the floor, and then we'll make some decisions on where we want stuff. So that's the plan, but we will be in this cutting, pressing, trimming mode for quite a while. But I think we'll have some interludes where we actually sew up the half chevrons, like, you know, the half chevrons like that. So that's the plan for Monday. All right, guys, I'm gonna flip you around and we will call it a weekend. All right, hello. Thanks so much again for joining me, guys. Yeah, if you ever have any questions about what I'm doing, feel free, just plop it in the comments here. If I don't answer it, it's probably because it just went by too fast and I didn't catch it, so you can ask again. We are doing the Charming Chevrons quilt, and I'm doing the twin size for it, and you can check out the pattern on, I have a link to it here. It's by Krista Watson of Krista Quilts. She has been very nice and let me do the whole entire process of her quilt here on Facebook Live. So that's super generous of her to do that. And so check out her website and stuff as well. And I will see you guys Monday. So have a great weekend. And yeah, I'll see you again at 8:30 p.m. Central on Monday. And I'll drink some tea and watch some football. So all right, guys, I will check you out later. Have a great evening. Good night.